The Pacific Line, Metro Mark45's first ever SkyTrain line. Originally first called the Pacific Railway, an original stretch was built all the way back in 2014 to link the Zoo 45 with the village of Fulton. Later on, as the city would develop, the governments agreed to expand the system and make the Pacific Railway into a full-length metro system that will link places further away like the Secret Cave and AshleyTown and the world's Stronghold all together to the city. The line will go through a couple more extensions, eventually merging with the Metro Line Station, Vinclande Center, as one shared triple platform station for an easy and linked transfer. Like the other two lines, the Pacific Line has also gone through several major changes as well, from station renames, station redesigns, and overall the purposes of the areas surrounding the stations have also changed. In this video, we'll be looking at each and every one of the stations, as well as the entire route of the line going from the ferry terminal to the Vinclande Center, the end-to-end experience. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another SkyTrain remake video. It is now 2021. As you know, we are in this project, we are going over all of the main SkyTrain lines running in Metro Mark45 or the City of Mark45, and because so much the city has changed so much over the years, and as well as the lines itself, meaning station designs have changed in terms of upgrading it, and just the areas around it. Some of the station's purposes have been changed as well. Like, for example, this station used to serve A, now the station serves B. So we're going to go over that in this video, of course. And of course, as I've always recommended before you watch these videos, watch the original videos I made in 2017. Right now, in today's video, we'll be looking at the Pacific Line, the first line to be built on the network, and as probably the one that has been extended the most, if I remember my history correctly. I am filming this after I did the Gorilla 10 line video, so if you want to check that out, that should be out already before this video, so go check that out as well. And like I said, we made so many videos on the Pacific Line and the other lines in the past, so this is the 2021 remake of the whole new upgrading project. And of course, this being the first SkyTrain line, it has seen a lot. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to it. So right now, where are we starting at? Well, this is a end-to-end line, just like the Metro line and this line only runs from one end to the other. There's no split. That's just the Gorilla 10 line, where it splits into two branches. This is from end to end. From here, the ferry terminal, to the Vinclande Center. That's what the Pacific Line runs. Of course, I have gone through the whole evolution of the network. If you want to check that video out, basically explained the lines and all that and their history. But right now we are in the game, in the server, looking at it. So of course, our first stop here, as I mentioned, it runs from ferry terminal to the Vinclande Center. So right now we're at the first terminus, the ferry terminal. If you haven't figured out from the name already, this station is for the city's ferry terminal. Ferry terminal as in we have cruise ships, cargo ships that might come through here, ferries that will take you to other cities. Then this would be the place for go. Usually this is the place for the ferries that can carry vehicles as well. That's why all these boarding parties, or these boarding platforms, are all these road networks that all link up to one singular road network. Of course, if you don't want to take your vehicle onto your ferry trip, then you just leave them in the parking lot right here. The ferry terminal has yet to be developed. As you can see at the time of recording this video, there still need to be things that are going to be built here, like the offices, check-ins, gates, you name them, everything a ferry terminal needs. But what is here, of course, is the station. In the original video, this station used to be called the Ocean Temple, if I'm not mistaken. That's because right over there, if you can see in the water, there's an Ocean Temple. And of course now, a whole ferry terminal has been built on top of this island. And recently, with the new cave update, the generating of the land expanded. We have territory that's going further now. This used to be the edge of the world, but as you can see, a whole glacier biome just spawned over there. Luckily, it didn't cover up that entire ocean, so thankfully, it will not disrupt all the ferry ships' routes. And of course, we have 4. This should be enough for one big ferry ship, or just several smaller ones. And yeah, so we'll come back in a few years when this place is actually developed. So we're going to focus on the station. We do have a small little bus loop here for bus services going to the Nightstriker village. This is a terminal station. What does that mean? Well, it means that this is a singular platform station. As you can see, there is no other platform. So that means for boarding and for departing, the train will be on the singular track, because of course there's really no need to make a secondary platform. Now, the way the station is designed, it's supposed to be a concourse area on the ground level and then a concourse area on the top, right before it gets to the platform. So it's a very simplistic but also a sturdy design, if you will. Of course, it's built using the prismarine blocks to follow up that ocean temple theme with a hint of the purple, because that's what our twin towers are made out of. Gotta represent the color. And as you can see, the tracks kind of overlap onto the bus cover a little bit, but that's part of the design. It's alright. So let's enter through here. Ferry Terminal Station. You can see very nice looking ice cream banners, and like I've said in the Guideway 10 line video, unless you haven't watched it, these are the new fare gates that we've installed pretty much throughout the entire system. Every single station has these new fare gates, and the purpose of these is simple: to collect the money for people taking the lines, taking the SkyTrains, to actually we can actually make money off these, because of course these lines were not cheap to build. And of course, to keep out villagers, mobs, or just whatever from wandering onto the stations and potentially onto the tracks, which can cause disruptions. So that's why we have these gates here. Our ground level concourse area. In the future, we're going to set up a ticket machine somewhere here or here. We're still deciding on that at the moment, because the way this concourse area is designed, you can see the traffic, you just move in this diagonal direction. So there's that. One singular but pretty wide staircase to keep the traffic flow going of the passengers as you come on up. Secondary concourse level, and you go straight to the one and only platform on this station. Very, very nice. Very simplistic design, as the train will just come in here, pull in, drop off, and then people get on board and they'll just leave. And of course it'll go onto the other track, as you can see right there. What else? Oh yeah, one common theme that we try to aim for all these new stations when we were remodeling all these and upgrading all these stations were to leave as much natural sunlight as possible, i.e. all of these windows you see here. We have made sure to let night, all the light sources we put in here will take over to light up the station. So it feels very natural. It doesn't feel like you're enclosed in the enclosed environment. So that was our goal, and of course you get beautiful views while waiting for a train. So there's that. We got waiting seats here, a trash can, our platform sign right here for our one and only platform. These signs tell you the direction the train is going. Of course, the next stop, which is Volskaya, which we'll get to. The terminus, the other end of this line, which is Vinclande Center. And then this tells you that this line will also cut into the City of Mark45, will go through the City of Mark45, and that's when you can transfer to the Guideway 10 line should you need to transfer. So, that being said, that is pretty much it. That is the entire the entire ferry terminal station. And let us continue down this path and move on to the next station. Okay, our next stop is Volskaya. Volskaya? Volskaya? That sounds very not a normal village name. Well, that's what we called our village. This is a peaceful little village on the outskirts of the city, in between the ferry terminal and the city, of course. It's best known for its freshly caught seafood because of the lakes surrounding it. It is dominating with live fish, and of course, might as well, right? The village also is known for raising some unique farm animals like cows, pigs, chicken, sheep, and this is where we get our meat. All the seafood and meat that is harvested and farmed here, of course, will be shipped into the city to be served in restaurants, to be sold in grocery stores, you name it. This is an important town. It is also a very peaceful tourist attraction, and a lot of people can rent a boat or buy a boat, but rent a space at the pier here to park their boats here. Seeing that the Pacific line was going to cut through this path anyways towards the ferry terminal, we felt that it would be fair to give this village a station. Now, of course, that wasn't the original intent in the beginning. In the first design of the station in that old video, this station used to serve that little nether portal that is still here. Right over there, look outside the window, right there, which is now sealed up, and it used to be called the Funmaker 7 portal as a dedication to one of my first 10 subscribers on my channel. So if you're still watching me up to this day, Funmaker 7, just so you know, there was a portal and a whole ass station dedicated to you. So there's that. But of course, now a whole village has been built around it, so this station has a much better purpose. And the fact that the station has been completely remade from scratch. Darren ripped apart the whole station design and rebuilt it, and might I tell you, I am so glad he did that because it looks so good. Of course, our common theme of windows is kept, so you get the excellent views and the daylight coming in. At the station, you are greeted by a family of doggos. This is what we call the Bean family. They will greet every passenger at platform 2 that gets off at this station. So there's that. So as you can see, the floors are made out of wood, not your usual andesite. The central barrier is made of stone bricks. That hasn't changed. We've also kept the iron blocks at the top, but we just adjust the lighting. Sunlight come through. We do have lanterns take over for lighting when it hits night. This is the platform 2 sign right there. Yeah. And then now let's head down. I can see we really use a lot of the flooring because, you know, this used to be a forest, so when we cut down the trees, what better way to not waste the wood and use it to help remodel the buildings and build the station and all that. So this is your concourse area when you come down. Very small concourse area with just a simple platform 1 and 2 indication signs. So this side is platform 1. Ta-da, there we go. I'm telling you this is towards the ferry terminal. And yeah, so that's the station. That's this platform. Platform 1. I will say though, the views you get to see on this station is magnificent. You can just see the village behind you, the ocean in front of you, and that beautiful looking SkyBridge, which we have gone through on our way to the station. The SkyBridge is probably one of my all-time favorite features on the network. We have 2 SkyBridges. One serves this line, the other serves the Metro line coming between Sterling Island and Inlet Street. From the 2 SkyBridges, I do think this one is a lot better and more pleasing in my opinion. If you've seen the footage for the original SkyBridge side by side, yep, that has also been remade as part of our program to upgrade the whole line, and I am just so happy with this design. I came up with this from scratch. I mean, I did look at an image of some modern metro train bridges, but then I didn't use a tutorial for this. I just came up from scratch, and I'm so happy about this design. It looks absolutely amazing as it crosses over from the ferry terminal island to Volskaya. So excellent. A very, very nice bridge. You've seen some B-roll shots already, so I don't need to fly over there. We do have a little spot here to park a train that's not in service, well, in this case minecarts, because that's all we have. So yeah, coming back to the station. So once you exit this, of course, we have our fare gate entrance, Volskaya Station. That's what this village is called. So coming back out, lots of nature. Even though there's a whole, the tracks running through, we try to keep what made this place beautiful in the first place, which are at the trees being grown. I think sometime in the future we'll do a whole video dedicated to the village of Volskaya. Obviously we won't have time for that now, but here is your quick glance at it before we proceed on to the next station. So yeah, the peaceful village of Volskaya. So with that being said, do not do what I did if you're a normal human, because the tracks will electrocute you. So let us hop onto the train and head on to the next stop.
The next station is AshleyTown.
Alright, for the next few stations here up until Vinclande Center, my audio got completely screwed up, so I'm going to be narrating these with a voiceover over this gameplay. Now, I would honestly go back and film it all again, but I couldn't afford the time to go back and refilm all these stations. It's just, it ain't it. So we're gonna try this. So the next stop is AshleyTown, and it's not that far from Volskaya, as you can see. This was actually one of the older terminal stations, and then the final extension to the ferry terminal was made. But before that extension, this was it. This is also where the Pacific Line Operations Center is located, but we're going to go over the station first. So obviously, as you figured out, the station is serving the little town of AshleyTown, which we basically consider a little rural town outside of the city. So let's say if you live in BC, then pretend Vancouver is your main city, and then this would be the Harrison Hot Springs. That's what it is. Okay, so right now we're standing on platform 2 of the station, and it's a side platform station, as you can see. Some has changed throughout as we redesign every station. This has also gone through some redesigning process. What we did is we just removed the lighting, changed the windows, made the roof slightly better. But we did keep the central iron bar with the windows because we like the natural sunlight coming in. What else? They're identical on both sides for platform 2 and 1. We did keep the glowstone. I think that was here before. Actually, I don't know. I think we did. So right now we're on platform 1, and as you can see, the station is located right above the operations center. Just because of the geography of the line, it was just better we do it that way. Alright, let's come down to the concourse area now. This concourse area is actually not that big. You can actually see the operation center as you're down here. You can see the building is right there with the bridge and all the trains. And then we'll of course look at the operation center after. I just want to finish covering the station first. But as you can see, geographically, the station is located right on top of the operation yard, which is fine because we managed to find a way for the trains to not collide with the station, like for those in service and not in service. So there's that. However, passengers who come into the station can look at the operations center and see all the magic. We love our customers to see what goes on behind the scenes. You know, some people don't do that. Some companies don't do that. They just show what they have on the store shelves. But for us, we like to take you to the factories too. That's why we didn't really change the concourse area to like put windows. We just kept it as a bridge. We have a sign here directing you to the platforms. This is new for our entire system because this is a side platform, so we're gonna need 2 stairways that goes to platform 1, as you can see. Same thing. What did you expect? What else? Little resting area with the seats to wait for trains. Coming back down here. Just another view of... You can see those are the tracks that go from the main line into the operation center. Okay, so let's go to the exit. We have one singular fare gate, as you can see. And then right, this is the station entrance. A very basic station entrance, as you can see. Not quite sure why you have skeleton skulls, but as we continue down, we are now in the town. So to access the station it's quite accessible, but I like this town, to say the least. I think this town is a very peaceful place, a good summer vacation spot. It's not like in the middle of nowhere, but it's still like quiet enough that you can enjoy a peaceful life here. Right across the field, you can see over there is the Dan TDM lab. If you're a Dan TDM fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but that will probably be for another video. I don't know what else to say. We'll look at this town, of course, in its own video, just not here. So let's just go back and let's look at the operations center. Yeah, so originally the operations center was just in this area. That was it. It was a very small hut with a couple tracks. Obviously, as the city grew and the SkyTrain system grew and the Pacific Line stuff grew, we obviously needed to expand the whole area, expand the lot for the capacity. Coming down here, we got the little shack for our workers to chill in. As you can see, as you walk out, tracks are very close to one another. We got these are some of the original tracks here for out-of-service trains to be parked. I think we can only squeeze in one. The Pacific Line uses the shortest trains just so we can have a higher frequency of trains. Like, because Pacific Line is actually one of the busiest from all 3. So we have to prioritize frequency over size. This shack, I will say, it looks very nice. We also have it on the other 2 lines as well. Here are the tracks that go from the main line to the yard. Here is the pedestrian entrance, or you have the staff entrance, the main entrance to the parking lot, as you can see, for our staff to go to work. And the entrance right here, we have the tracks that loop around the whole building, just so our trains can maneuver around. And let's see what else we can show. We got more trains out of service, well, minecarts, because I don't have mods. So I just consider minecarts trains. We have some more here underneath the station. Just the more space for out-of-service trains to park, the better. That was the goal here. Of course, we have to make sure it's also safe for our staff to walk on the tracks without getting electrocuted by the redstone. So there's that. A little bridge to go across in case things get too busy to cross the tracks. And now let's enter the building. You will notice this building has a very similar design to the Gordila 10 line operations center. That's because we follow a similar format, and then for the Metro line, it's just this, but slightly bigger. So we have a little check-in counter over here in case visitors, because we do sometimes get visitors that come to the operations center. And of course, these are the maintenance platforms for the trains to come in, to be cleaned, to be maintenance, to be fixed, you name it. These platforms are long enough to fit 2 trains per platform. So if we need to do massive work on a bunch of trains, then we can go up to 6. Yeah, we can go up to 6 trains at a time for the full capacity in this facility. What else? We do have this. Let's see. Oh yes, the tracks come out on the back, so when the trains are done, they just, like I said earlier, they just loop back around to that side, to the front, so they don't have to back out. That just causes way too much inconvenience. We didn't really care about the nicest designs here, so we just kept this bridge, made it simple. And inside we have some of the control panels and the operating panels, if you will, and the communications, obviously. Communications is important here because if anything goes haywire, we need to speak into the PA system of a specific station. Then these would be the machines to do it. Just like the Gordy 10 line would be like, yo, this train is in need, and all that. Little screen here for the map. These are communication devices with the transit center, as well as the other lines if needed. This is just the main office where all the magic is happening for the line. And this device is like the Gorilla 10 line. If the whole system goes haywire, this will be the machine to take over the system, take over the line, take over the trains, divert the trains, make sure every passenger on board and on the stations are safe. And of course, we never know if a train might go sentient. Not saying it will, but this machine is here to overtake it just in case. So that is the operations center, and that is the AshleyTown Station, basically in the same lot as you can see. So now it is time for us to move down to the next stop, which is the residential area. Let's do it.
The next station is Mark 45 Residential.
Alright, next station is the Mark 45 Residential Station. This one's one of my favorite designs because of the area it's in. The station has to be smaller, but small doesn't mean the station has to look ugly. The station still looks pretty damn good, to say the least. It's definitely shorter in terms of the ceiling, as you can see. Again, side platform station. Our stairway is kind of in the middle, so instead of going in front, you just go behind the stairway to go access all throughout the station. Originally, the station was called the Tiny Village Station, so obviously the station was quite tiny, but we did expand the width of the platforms because it was needed to. Alright, let's come down to the concourse area. Platform 1 and 2 directional signs, as you can see. So platform 1 is up here. Pretty much the same thing as you would expect on the other side. Most of the space is at the back, not really at the front, as you can see. That's just the way of the station. Try to work our way around it. And then the one and only exit is right here, which of course goes to the main residential area, which, if you haven't figured out, is where the houses are. Every city has one, every city needs one. Here is our bus loop. Of course, this is our worldwide bus system, so places where the SkyTrain doesn't go, the buses will cover. So, yep, these are 2 locations. We have one bus over here, and then right underneath the station, by the station, we have this little park. Obviously, I don't think a house being built next to the station would be ideal. I don't think anyone would want to live next to a station. So we made a park there. So, why not? Why not waste the space? And this is the residential area. At least what is there so far. There is still so much. This is only like a quarter of it filled. We still have so many more houses to build. This residential area is going to be massive because the downtown is massive, so does the residential area. You can see all this empty flat space will have houses, and the terrain across the river is not going to be a residential area. It's just going to be another expansion of the city, the suburban areas, if you will. Okay, let's move on. one of the Pacific Line's first terminus when Project Pacific Line launched. We're not counting Blizzard City. That was Pacific Railway days. We're counting Pacific Line days, like Pacific Line, not Railway. I know it gets confusing, but as you probably figured out for this station, it serves the world's stronghold. Now, every world has a stronghold, I think 3 to be exact, but this is the stronghold inside the city. We still have not found the other 2, couldn't be bothered. Side platform again, but you do get a nice view of the city as we slowly enter the suburban area and slowly transition into downtown. As you can see over there, that is Blizzard City. It's a relatively less busy station, but it's still useful because a lot of people come here not for the stronghold, but for the surroundings. We have 2 separate entrances. That's just the nature of the station. Couldn't really do anything about it. So this is to the other platform. So it's 1 entrance per platform. Another view, that's the building housing the stronghold. Over there is just more views of the city. What else? Yeah, you can see that we have some Easter eggs, some characters there, but that's for another time. And then we come back down. The fare gates are in each entrance, as you can see. So let's come out, just quickly show you the surroundings of the station. So here is the station, right next to the building housing the stronghold. So we turned the stronghold into a museum after we sealed up the end portal. And then we turn the whole stronghold into museum. This will be, of course, in another video, so we're not going to look at that now. Stuff around the stronghold, we have a parking lot for it, yes, because it's a tourist attraction. There is the Blizzard City, and slowly transitioning into the City Mark45. Suburban area is right here with some shops and more shops and some smaller buildings. And then, yeah, so geographic, this station is in a pretty good spot where a lot of people will be using it not for the stronghold, but for the surroundings of the stronghold. And of course, this was the first terminus before expansions and so forth. So, let's move on to the Blizzard City Station.
The next station is Blizzard City. Change here for the R4 bus service.
Okay, next up, one of the first original stations to ever be built. Of course, the first 2 OG stations is this station and the City Mark45 station, the Blizzard City Station. Now, the original name of this was called Fulton Village, and after that it went through several other names before we decided to land on Blizzard City as a conclusion. So this station is one of the oldest, but also, of course, it followed with the program of rebuilding all the stations. Of course, this station went through a major redesign. Because trust me, if you looked at this in 2014, the station looked nothing like it does now. It is one of the most busiest stations as well, apart from being the oldest, because it's located within the city. It's right between Blizzard City and the City Mark45. So, and it has a bus loop, so it's a very important commute spot for commuters. The most busiest station on this line, of course, is the City Mark45, but usually a lot of people will be taking the line between this station and the City Mark45 stretch, which of course is the OG stretch. And yeah, let's take you through. So these platforms are actually quite big, as you can see. We of course took out a lot of the torches, let the windows be the primary source of light. and also you get nice views. So right now we're on platform 1. Platform 2 is right across, of course. Let's see, you can just see more buildings because we're right now basically in the downtown core. Yeah, nice skyscrapers. I don't know. Okay, let's come out. Of course, to access each platform, they have their own individual entrances. Again, as you can see, this is of course goes to the bus loop with our bus services, as I've explained previously. Yep, bus stops. Let's go to the other side, to the other entrance, to the other platform. Big entrance sign here. So this station actually takes up a lot of space, as you can see, and that's just the nature of it. Honestly, I think that just gives passenger flow much easier because, you know, this being one of the busiest, this actually allows passengers to get on and off the station quite easily without colliding in the traffic. So here is the entrance to the other platform. Just to quickly show you, this is the sign. Yeah. Let's go on up through the gate. Come up here. And here we are on platform 2. Platform 2. Very, very nice. The same thing. It's what did you expect? You notice the Pacific Line mainly uses side platforms for the stations, with only one station using an island platform. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So this is the Blizzard City Station.
The next station is City of Mark45. Change here for the Gordy Lot 10 line.
The station that started it all, the City of Mark45. Now this station, while the name hasn't changed, the design of the station has changed so much, believe me. The first time the station was designed, it was literally a wooden box. And it went through a quick change, went through another change, and another change, and this year went through another change again as part of the rebuilding program. So the two exits first leads here, which of course directly connects you into the Twin Towers, into the government building, into the City Hall. I'm going to quickly take you guys here because of course this is going to be a transition point to the Gordy 10 line, because the Gordy 10 line also runs through here. So as we come down this elevator to the basement, that is your transition route to the Gordy 10 line SkyTrain. Of course, I have covered this in its own video. Just to quickly show you, here it is, the Gordy 10 line station. So to get back to the Pacific line, you'll have to cut through the basement, go up the elevator, but in this, I'm just gonna quickly fly back up. You know how it goes. Come back out here, and this goes to the Pacific Line station, as you can see. And this is the street exit right here. Each platform entrance is on the opposite side of the road. That's why we had to put these signs for directions. So this entrance takes you to platform 1, and then platform 2, you gotta cross the street for it. Luckily the street isn't that big. Platform 2 is right here. The entrance is right here. A bigger fare gate, as you can see. This station's consistency is not the greatest, but we did what we could to fit in this tiny spot. There you go. Here is platform 2, taking you to the other direction, to the ferry terminal. Other than that, it's a very simple design, given this being one of the busiest stations on the network, but it's honestly what we could do in this very tight space of the downtown core. given that it's right next to the twin towers, so we did what we could. The Gordy 10 line one, of course, was much easier because it was underground, but this, of course, wasn't. So we did what we can. Look, we made the roof a little better, and that's pretty much it. And, of course, adjusted the windows, made it completely glass, pretty much. I think that was a good decision. Okay, so that is the City of Mark45 station. Let's continue to the next stop, to the spawn point.
The next station is Spawnpoint.
This is probably the most important station of all, because this, as you can tell by the name, is for the world spawn point. So basically every new player, every newcomer that comes into this world has the luxury of immediately having an option to ride or commute into the city or other places in the world apart from the city. So this station is of vital importance. And you'll notice the station is inside the world Spawnpoint Center. Yes, we have built a whole center for the spawn point just to make the newcomers feel welcome, get an understanding of the world that they've entered before entering the city. And yeah, and also we kept all these, we made this as a fishbowl pretty much. You can actually see what you're in before you go in and explore and see all the magnificent views. So of course, originally it was just a station, so we built this center around the station. So yeah, it's an indoor station. It's a first, not the only one, but it's one of the first indoor stations. Now the actual spawn point is in this room. Every newcomer, this is where they're gonna spawn. You might recognize this if you're OG enough to the channel. This is the block I am standing on. That every new player, when they first load into this world, they will be in this room. So that's why, as you can see, this station is of vital importance. And yeah, so stations up here. So of course, platform entrances are different, individual through the ferry gates. This is platform 2. Of course, the station did go through a redesign. Even though it was inside this building, we still redesigned it anyways, just for a better, consistent look. And yeah, what was gonna say? It was pretty difficult to maneuver the tracks inside the building, but we eventually got it to work. So yeah, okay, so let's go back to the other platform. Here's a quick view of the tracks going through the building. All right, so let's move on to the next stop. Let's continue down to the next stop. Let's do it. Next up, the Nightstriker Capital Station, originally called the Desert Village. This station has also been remade, but in 8 style, of course. The Nightstriker Capital is of utter importance because it's basically a secondary downtown. So think of this like Surrey, while the City of Mark45 is Vancouver. That's honestly the best analogy I can think of. We're on platform 1 right now, of course. So this station is quite important too, because it's connecting the line between 2 major cities. So that's why it's important. Different entrances, of course, for each platform. So we're gonna come up here to platform 2. It's pretty much the same thing. So instead of windows, of course, these have fences, so we let a lot of natural air come in. The only disadvantage is it will suck if the weather gets bad. But because of our high frequencies, the waiting should not take forever. So there's that. So let's come back out. Okay, the gate is okay. The world is a little bit glitchy. Oh boy. Oh boy, the gate is bugged. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, outside of the station, this is the path that will take you to the streets and into the main city itself. And yeah, just like that. No room for a bus loop, so you have to rely on just purely this line as a commute option.
The next station is Springfield.
From one of the more populous stations to a not so populous station. We are now at the Springfield Station. This one's a more quiet, remote one, but it is also of utter importance because this will serve a future power plant that we built here. So of course a lot of employees that will be coming here to work will need a way to commute, and this station does the job. Originally the station serves the Mesa biome, but come on, a station just for a plain old biome? That's boring. That's why we're building that power plant here, and if you watch The Simpsons, then you'll understand why the name is called Springfield. There you go. Alright, this is the station that has these ticketing machines, also has this Jerry's new paper stand. We have the space for it, so might as well. The platform 1 and 2 indications, so right now we're in platform 1. The platform is quite spacious, I will say. We do also have these new monitors on the new screens, and the signs, of course, to tell you what platform you're on. Yeah, we've been slowly... Yeah, I guess what we did is put lanterns. We just ripped out the torches. We did expand the lengthen the platform a little bit, made it longer, because originally it was quite short. So that was one big upgrade we did. And to get to the Springfield, this is the station exit with the fare gates. Ta-da! Springfield Station, Pacific Line. We also have this machine out here, and we have a singular bus stop just for that one bus route that runs to Springfield. So it's not here yet, but it's coming. And eventually you'll see a power plant being established here called Springfield. So one more little glance at the station. Oh, we did keep the torches on the top, because why not? You're not going to see it anyways. And we just made it in a much more orderly fashion. And we changed these supports just to make the station foundation a lot better. And other than that, that's pretty much it. So let's move on to the next stop.
The next station is Gateway.
Gateway Station. Originally called the Secret Cave, this station no longer serves the Secret Cave. Rather, this will be serving a very important location in the world. Gateway is the name of a future retail center, a retail area. Multiple big retail names, stores will be built here, and this will be a key spot for people needing to get stuff and for just for the economy of the world to thrive. So that's why the station will be important, not just for customers but for employees as well. So right now we're on platform 1. Of course, the station did go through a remake. It looked nothing like this before, so of course we changed the look of it. I like this design just because of how simplistic it is. It's not overfilled with different blocks, but one thing I really like about these new stations are the windows. We also have the new monitors, the new screens. So we come down, one singular entrance, and then they'll just split into 2 stairways that will take you to the 2 platforms. So this is the platform 2. Same thing, just mirrored on the other side, as you can see. And yeah, so small but long. The length of this platform is what's gonna hold the capacity, not the width as other stations do. I like this because of how it just connects into one singular entrance, whereas you saw some of the previous stations, each platform have their own entrance. So this just keeps consistency very good, very consistent. I don't know how else to put it. And just to show you, of course, Gateway is not developed yet, but what is there is the bus loop. The bus loop is just on the side. You do have to cross the street to transfer to the line, but hey, it's what we could do with the space that's being given. Some of these bus routes, I do like these bus stops. I think hands down this is one of my best designs for the bus stops. We have multiple. We have 3 routes, as you can see, right here. And yeah, it's big enough to have multiple buses run. And of course, as I said, Gateway is not developed yet, but it's terraformed. So all this empty flat space, you'll see like a Walmart, you'll see a Costco, an IKEA, a Superstore. Just name any big retail names, and they'll probably be here on all this empty space. For now, it will continue being an empty space, but stores will come.
The next station is Transit Center.
The Transit Center. Now this station won't be important to regular customers. However, it will be important to the transit employees. Of course, the transit employees are what's running this line, plus the other 2 lines, as well as the buses. So to do the employees a favor, we made a station for this. So right now we're on platform 2, and notice this is the island platform station. I said there was only 1 island platform station on this line. And this is the one. Because this was I think this was originally the swamp station. I forgot the name, like the Ferdinand Swamp or whatever. And then of course the transit center was built here, and then we changed the purpose of the station and changed the design of the station. Because trust me, the old design of this, if you watch the OG video, yeah, it didn't look that great. I am very happy with this design that looks like today. We have the new monitors, of course. Because it's an island platform, we have a singular exit going down the middle. Very smooth transition through the fare gates out here. And that is the entrance to the station. Just like that. Because it's a voiceover, I can say this now. The transit center has been developed, but in this footage, you're going to see it has not been developed. So I'll show that in the future, don't worry. So let's come back up. So the convenience of the island platform is you don't have to go crisscrossing. You literally just come up the stairs and turn left, turn right. You can go to both platforms with ease. So here's an outside look. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. And this is the second last station. So let's move on to the final terminus, Vinclande Center.
The next station is Vinclande Center, Terminus Station. Change here for the Metro line.
Okay, and we are at our final stop. This is the final terminus station, Vinclande Center, and of course this is where it will end with. It's a shared station with the Metro line. Now I don't know how much exactly of this station it will cover. I'm just debating if I should save it for the Metro line video or not, because you know this is a shared station. But I think in this video I'm just going to briefly go over the whole station, but then focus on the Pacific line portion, i.e. this platform 3. So there is that. So that being said, we are now at the end, as I've said. Single platform station. I mean, this is a triple platform station as a whole, but this is a single platform for the Pacific line. In the original design, this thing was actually the same level as the Pacific line platforms, and I mean that meant the tracks had to elevate from here, and that honestly caused a lot of the trains to maneuver really slowly and difficultly. And so that's why when we rebuilt the station, we just lowered we created the Pacific line platform at the same level, so literally it does not have to escalate at all. So it just stays like this at ground level, and in the original design the tracks actually wrap around and go back, but that was just unnecessary. We didn't have the space for it, so we ripped apart that guideway and track section and then just rerouted the tracks to here to keep it a single track. So what we did instead is, you know, we have the tracks emerge out, so we built a new guideway here to get the tracks out, but then parts of that original guideway and track section we kept just to store a out-of-service train, or just to park a train, similar to what we did on the other end of the line, as well as the Gordio 10 line. And yep, so we didn't remove all of it, so we removed only chunks of it, but we kept this here. So you can see there is a train just parked right here. In terms of the platforms, this is platform 3, so I think this is the only platform 3 in the whole system, so there's that. The design of this, of course, follows the overall theme of the Metro line platforms, but of course we have to make it stand out so people would tell this is for the Pacific line. We have, of course, kept the screens, and then we have the sign overhead of platform 3. Windows, you can look out to see the bus loop that is underneath. Some waiting seats, and then some signs to direct you to the exit or the Metro line platforms depending on where you're going. On this side there's that sign that shows you that this is the platform 3 and the Pacific line, the whole system, because of the transferring between the two lines. So the exit is forward, Metro line is this way, so let's just take a quick peek at the Metro line. So let's come on up, and here we go. So of course I will go into a lot more detail in the Metro line video, but there is your brief look at it. And yeah, so island platform, side platform, it's a mixture of both. So let's go to the exit, which is right here. Yes, and we come down. Very spacious walkway, and there's 2 exits. So first exit is this way to the bus loop right here. See, Vinclande Center Station. The original name of the station used to be called the Mount Vinclande Station, and of course it's stupid, so now it has changed significantly. So that's one, and then of course the main entrance is right here, Kingston Highway. Of course, like I said, I will go into much deeper detail in the Metro line video, but there you go, that is it. The entrance used to be like somewhere over there, but it's been moved over here, and that is the Vinclande Center Station. Probably one of the hardest stations ever to build. The fact that it's 3 platforms with 2 SkyTrain lines going to it. So that's it. So let's wrap up the video, because we have reached the end. From end to end, we have covered the entire Pacific line. Okay, and that is the end, ladies and gentlemen. From end to end, we went from the ferry terminal all the way to here, Vinclande Center. Now, of course, as I said, Vinclande Center is, I'm staring right at it. It's not here yet. It will soon be developed here, but the station has gone basically rebuilt from scratch. If you looked at the old footage from the original, this looks nothing like what it does now. Now, of course, in this video, I've only covered the Pacific line portion of it, of course, because we're focusing on the Pacific line. So, of course, if you want to see the rest of the station, as well as the Metro line, just the whole line, that video will be on its own, and that is coming very soon. Because right now we still have a couple stations we haven't upgraded yet, so stay tuned for it. But in the meantime, if you want to check out the other lines, then be sure to watch those other videos. And of course, any other City of Mark45 videos, other stuff, they're all over the channel. Be sure to check them out. And that's it for now, for this video. And hit that like button and subscribe. And we will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.